everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we'll be stepping back into Rachel Vincent's duology, The Stars Never Rise. The second book in the series is called The Flame Never Dies, and I could not put it down, there was so much happening. Nina and her friends have been roaming the Badlands since they escaped New Temperance 5 months ago. As Melanie gets closer and closer to her due date, Nina's top priority becomes finding a soul for her niece or nephew, even if that means giving up her own. To start this off, I'm going to revisit the expectations I mentioned when I reviewed the first book, and I'm going to see if they were met. My first expectation was an explanation of Finn's existence, and we got that. In fact, one of my theories about it was right. I won't say which one, so it's still a surprise to anyone who reads it, but I was pretty pleased with myself. The second expectation was about Castor, and I'll get to him because I have quite a bit to say about him. My theory about him, however, was not correct. My final wish for the book was that it would explain the exorcism ability, but unfortunately it did not. Now on to the things I liked about the book. It held my attention a lot better than the first one did. It was pretty fast-paced, and it felt like the characters never got a break, especially in the second half. The romance between Nina and Finn was a lot better this time around. The time skip did them a lot of good. I also liked that there wasn't any relationship drama. This is usually the point in the story where something like that would happen, but it's nice to just see a couple happy. Just like in the first book, this one is full of surprises. The one around Melanie specifically was super unexpected. I liked most of the new characters as well. Eli was introduced early in the story as someone well-meaning but who had no idea what he was doing. He fought demons, but as he wasn't an exorcist, he did more harm than good. However, he played an important role later in the story. Surprisingly, my new favorite character was a demon. Her name was Mashara, and she shed a lot of light on demon society. She's not sympathetic by any means, but it's kind of sad to see what happens to her. Also, won't go into spoilers, but I love the ending and what it implies for their world's future. As far as things I didn't like, unfortunately Castor didn't leave as much of an impact as I'd hoped. He had a great scene with Nina, but after that moment he just stopped being a threat. There was a really cool opportunity for him to be not just a physical threat, but a psychological threat. They briefly touched on the idea, but it was never brought up again because he abandons what gives him this edge. And he is defeated way too easily. For all of his setup, he was a bit of a disappointment. Another thing I didn't like was how Melanie's child was handled. They spent the entire book reminding us that babies can't live without a soul, and that one will have to be given to Melanie's baby in order for them to live. When the baby is born, Nina is fully prepared to kill herself to give her soul to the baby. Eli knocks her out before she has the chance, and when she wakes up, the baby is fine. They mention that it's possible for the Well of Souls, which is usually dry, to have a spare soul to give, but it just felt so anticlimactic. I fully expected the book to end with Nina's or Finn's death to provide for the baby. Last nitpick here is for the story's climax. Most of the characters from the first book didn't have anything to do. Grayson got a lot of spotlight, which was nice because she had the least to do in the first book. But Nina and Finn were the only other ones doing anything in the finale. It just felt like a waste. I think the climax could have been tweaked to include the others pretty easily, even if it was just as simple as Finn telling the others to be their getaway driver. I'm going to give this book the same rating I gave the first, a 7 out of 10. I liked this one a lot more, but its problems bothered me a lot more too. But what did you guys think of this book? Have you read it? Comment your thoughts down below, as well as any book recommendations you might have for me. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.